Welcome to Predicode. Today we are going to solve valid parenthesis question from LeetCode using Swift. Given a string S containing just the characters open bracket, close bracket, open curly bracket, close, open square bracket and the close square bracket. That means my string is going to contain only these 6 characters. Determine if the input string is valid. Now we are supposed to check if the given string is a valid parenthesis. An input string is a valid string if open brackets must be closed by the same type of brackets. So if we open this one, it should also get closed. Open brackets must be closed in the same order. So for example, if I give this way, this is not a valid parenthesis because it is not the correct order. The correct order would be like open bracket, then open and close square bracket and then close bracket. Every close bracket has a corresponding open bracket of the same type. So we make sure each opening bracket has a closing bracket and the closing bracket has an opening bracket. So let's go through the example. So if you see, this has an opening bracket and closing one. So it is a valid string for the parenthesis. Next one is also a valid one because each has a pair in the correct order. But if you see the third example, only open bracket is there for the parenthesis and for a square only the closing bracket is there. So this is not a correct parenthesis string. Next one is open bracket, open square bracket, close square bracket and close bracket. So it is a valid string. Next, in order to solve this question, we are going to use stack. I have written few cases which I would be explaining later on. So stack works on the concept of last in, first out, LIFO. If we add any item at the bottom, this is going to be compared later on in our example. So let's see with one example. For example, my string S is equals to open parenthesis, then square bracket, closing square bracket and closing parenthesis. So if my S is equals to this, first I'll run a for loop, first iteration, for loops first iteration. So first character I would be working with. So if I encounter this first character, then I want to add the closing bracket of that character in my stack. So if you see, this is my stack. So what I want to do, I would just store the closing bracket of my corresponding opening braces in the stack. Why? Because this represents I have already encountered one opening bracket, now looking for the closing bracket at this position. Okay, next iteration I would go for. In the next iteration, it would show that this opening bracket of the square bracket we are looking for. So in my switch case, under this for loop, I would see, okay, this is my opening bracket. What am I supposed to do? I will add this closing bracket of square in the stack. So now my stack is storing two brackets. The very first one is the square and the beneath one is the closing bracket of parenthesis, because my stack works on the principle of last in, first out. So always this is going to be considered as the first item when we are trying to pop items out of the stack. So next let's go to the next iteration. So in the third iteration, my item for the string is the closing square bracket, you see, but I don't have anything in the switch case for closing square bracket. In that case, I have a condition for default. What default will get? Default will get all the elements which are not these three, right? So which are not these three, it will go to default. It will check if this character, for example, suppose it is ch. If ch is equals to, okay, let me make some room. If ch is equals to the stack's first element, so stack dot first item, let's say it is the first item, then we would see that yes, it is true. So my this bracket is exactly equal to this. So what we'll do, we found a pair. So we found a pair of the brackets. So stack would drop that value. Stack would pop that item out of the stack. Now my stack is only containing a normal bracket one. So next iteration, the very fourth iteration of the for loop would encounter this bracket, which is my character now. Now it will again go to the default case. In default case, again it will check if ch is equals to the stack character. So stack first character. If it is equal to the same, so if you see ch is also equal to this, and this is also a stack value is also equal to this. So in stack, this is the only item left. Now what will do, it will just pop stack, pop that element. So now my stack is empty. If you see, this element is also popped, so that means now my stack is empty. And if you see, my for loop is also over. We are done with all the characters available in the string. So finally it will return stack is empty. For example, if my stack is not empty because of the sequence of the characters available in the string, then this would return false, right? So if it is empty true, that means it's a valid parenthesis. If it is returning false, then it is not a valid parenthesis. This problem in LeetCode. So very first condition would be, if my string is already empty, then no need to move forward. We simply return from there false. Then after that, I would create my stack. So here we are taking the array of character to represent my stack. Currently it is an empty array. Now we would go for the for loop. So ch is representing each character in my string, so it is s. Now we have to go for the switch case. So switch ch, I have already copied the condition over here. So if the case is open parenthesis, it would append the closing one, same for square and the curly braces. Next we go for the default case. In the default case, the very first condition is like, if my stack is already empty, so we simply return false from here, because no need to go forward. Already we are sure that there is no matching bracket for this. And second condition would be, if my st dot last element, since it is an array, the very top element of the stack is getting represented by the last one. So I say remove last, means the last element, if it is not equal to the character which we are iterating here, that means then also it is not a matching parenthesis, and we simply return false here. So this is the proper condition we have for this one. After that, what we do is, after the for loop here, we return if my stack is empty. So if the stack is empty, that means my string has all the valid ordered parentheses and brackets. If not, then it would return false. Let's submit and check. So this has been accepted as an answer, and see you in the next video.